Have you ever wondered how some people seem to effortlessly influence and persuade others with their words? It's like they possess a secret language, a way of speaking that captivates the mind and opens doors to new possibilities. This, my friends, is the magic of hypnotic language. Hypnotic language isn't about controlling minds or making people do things against their will. It's about using words consciously and skillfully to bypass the critical filters of the conscious mind and speak directly to the subconscious. It's about creating a state of heightened suggestibility, where individuals are more open to new ideas, perspectives, and possibilities. Think of it like this. Imagine your mind as a garden. Your conscious mind is the gatekeeper, carefully scrutinizing everything that enters. Hypnotic language is like having a key that bypasses the gate, allowing you to plant seeds of thought and influence directly into the fertile ground of the subconscious mind. In the following sections, we'll unlock the secrets of this powerful communication tool, exploring its principles, patterns, and applications. Prepare to embark on a fascinating journey into the world of hypnotic language and discover how to harness the power of words to transform your communication and your life. Now that we've explored the fundamentals of hypnotic language, let's delve into some of the key patterns that make it so effective. These patterns are like linguistic keys, unlocking specific pathways in the subconscious mind and influencing thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. One powerful pattern is the use of embedded commands. These are subtle suggestions concealed within a larger sentence, bypassing the conscious mind's resistance. For example, instead of saying, "You should try this new restaurant," you could say, "Imagine how much you'll enjoy the delicious food and ambience at that new restaurant." Another key pattern is pacing and leading. This technique involves matching the listener's current state and gradually leading them to a desired state. You start by acknowledging their present experience and then subtly guide them toward a new perspective. For instance, you might say, "I understand you're feeling stressed right now." As you take a deep breath and relax, imagine feeling calmer and more in control. Double binds are another fascinating pattern used in hypnotic language. This technique involves offering two choices, both of which lead to the same desired outcome. For example, you could say, "Would you like to explore this opportunity now or after you've had a chance to review the information?" Both choices imply that the person is interested in exploring the opportunity. These are just a few examples of the many hypnotic language patterns that exist. As you become more familiar with these patterns, you'll begin to recognize them in everyday conversations and discover how to use them ethically and effectively in your own communication. Imagine trying to build a house without a solid foundation. It would be shaky, unstable, and prone to collapse. The same principle applies to communication. Building rapport and trust is the foundation upon which all effective communication, especially hypnotic language, is built. One of the most potent ways to establish rapport is through active listening. This involves giving your undivided attention to the speaker, asking clarifying questions, and reflecting back what you've heard to ensure understanding. When people feel heard and understood, they're more likely to open up and be receptive to your message. Empathy is another cornerstone of building trust. It's about stepping into the other person's shoes and genuinely trying to understand their perspective, even if you don't agree with it. When you validate someone's feelings, you create a safe and supportive space for open communication. Transparency and consistency are also crucial for building lasting rapport. Be upfront about your intentions and limitations, and always follow through on your commitments. When people know they can count on you to be honest and reliable, trust naturally follows. Remember, building rapport is not about manipulation or trickery. It's about creating a genuine connection based on mutual respect, understanding, and shared goals. Imagine listening to a monotone speaker droning on and on. Your mind would likely wander, and you'd quickly lose interest. Now picture a captivating storyteller, their voice rising and falling with emotion, their words flowing effortlessly, drawing you into their world. That's the power of tonality, rhythm, and pacing. Tonality is the emotional color you infuse into your voice. A warm, inviting tone conveys empathy and connection, while a sharp, aggressive tone can create distance and resistance. Varying your tone adds depth and interest to your speech, making it more engaging and persuasive. Rhythm refers to the natural flow of your words. Just like a piece of music, speech has its own rhythm and cadence. Speaking too quickly can make you sound nervous or rushed, while speaking too slowly can make you seem dull or uninterested. Find a rhythm that feels natural and comfortable for you and your listener. Pacing involves adjusting your speech speed to match the listener's state and the emotional content of your message. When conveying excitement or urgency, you might speak faster. When sharing something sensitive or personal, a slower pace allows for greater impact and reflection. Mastering these elements of speech transforms your communication from ordinary to extraordinary. It's like adding music to your words, creating a symphony of sound that captivates the mind and moves the soul. Painting pictures with words. Have you ever noticed how certain words and phrases evoke vivid images, sounds, or feelings? That's because they tap into our sensory experience of the world. Sensory language is a powerful tool in hypnotic communication, allowing you to create immersive experiences and bypass the critical filters of the conscious mind. The VAC model, which stands for Visual, Auditory, and Kinesthetic, provides a framework for understanding and utilizing sensory language. Visual language appeals to our sense of sight, using words like see, bright, clear, and imagine. Auditory language engages our sense of hearing, employing words like hear, sound, tone, and rhythm. Kinesthetic language connects with our sense of touch, movement, and emotion, using words like feel, touch, warm, and heavy. By incorporating sensory-rich language into your communication, you create a more engaging and memorable experience for your listener. Instead of saying, "I had a great time at the concert," you could say, "I could feel the music pulsating through my body as the crowd roared with excitement." The latter statement paints a vivid picture in the listener's mind, drawing them into your experience. Remember to tailor your language to the individual's preferred sensory modality. Some people are more visually oriented, while others are more auditory or kinesthetic. Pay attention to their language patterns and nonverbal cues to determine which modality resonates most strongly with them. The power of narrative, storytelling, and metaphors in hypnosis. Stories are the lifeblood of human connection. They have the power to transport us to different worlds, evoke powerful emotions, and impart profound wisdom. In the realm of hypnotic language, storytelling and metaphors are invaluable tools for bypassing the critical mind and accessing the subconscious. Metaphors in particular are like Trojan horses for the mind. They package ideas and suggestions within seemingly unrelated stories or analogies, allowing them to slip past the conscious mind's defenses and take root in the subconscious. For instance, instead of directly telling someone to be more confident, you could share a story about a tiny seed that grew into a mighty oak, weathering storms and standing tall. The metaphor subtly implants the suggestion of resilience and growth. Stories and metaphors are particularly effective because they engage multiple areas of the brain. They stimulate our imagination, evoke emotions, and create a sense of shared experience. When you tell a story, you're not just conveying information, you're creating an immersive experience that draws the listener in and makes your message more memorable and impactful. The next time you want to communicate a powerful message, consider using a story or metaphor. It's like planting a seed of thought that can blossom into positive change. Mastering your emotions, creating desired states with language. Emotions are powerful forces that shape our thoughts, behaviors, and perceptions. Hypnotic language provides tools for not only understanding but also influencing emotional states both in ourselves and others. By mastering the art of creating desired emotional states, we can unlock greater potential for personal growth and interpersonal connection. Anchoring is a powerful technique used in neuro-linguistic programming, or NLP, a field closely related to hypnotic language, to associate a specific word, phrase, or gesture with a desired emotional state. For example, you could choose the word calm, and while in a genuinely calm state, repeat the word several times while focusing on the feeling itself. Later, you can trigger that same state by simply recalling the anchor word. Future pacing is another powerful technique used to create positive emotional states. It involves guiding the listener to imagine themselves in a future scenario where they're experiencing their desired outcome. For instance, you might say, imagine yourself a year from now, having achieved your goals and feeling incredibly proud of yourself. This technique helps to instill hope, motivation, and a sense of possibility. Remember, the key to ethically using these techniques is to focus on creating positive and empowering emotional states. Avoid using hypnotic language to manipulate or control others' emotions for personal gain. Turning obstacles into opportunities. Resistance is a natural part of any communication, especially when introducing new ideas or challenging existing beliefs. In the context of hypnotic language, resistance often manifests as skepticism, objections, or a lack of engagement. Instead of viewing resistance as a roadblock, consider it valuable feedback that can help you refine your approach and tailor your message for greater impact. One effective technique for handling resistance is to agree and redirect. This involves acknowledging the person's objection without getting defensive and then gently steering the conversation in a new direction. For example, if someone says, "I don't believe in hypnosis," you could respond with, "I understand your skepticism." Many people have misconceptions about hypnosis. Would you be open to exploring some practical communication techniques that can enhance your influence and persuasion skills? Reframing is another powerful tool for overcoming resistance. This technique involves shifting the perspective on a situation to alter its meaning. For instance, if someone expresses doubt about their ability to change, you could reframe it by saying, "Every moment is an opportunity for growth and transformation." Your willingness to acknowledge areas for improvement shows that you're already on the path to positive change. Remember, resistance is not always a sign of rejection. It can be an opportunity to build rapport, address concerns, and tailor your message for greater impact. Mastering hypnotic language. Practice, ethics, and common mistakes. Mastering any new skill takes time, practice, and a commitment to ethical application. Hypnotic language is no exception. The more you practice using these techniques in your everyday conversations, the more natural and effortless they'll become. One effective way to practice is through role-playing with a partner. Choose a specific scenario and take turns practicing different hypnotic language patterns. Another helpful technique is to record yourself speaking and then analyze your tonality, rhythm, and use of sensory language. As you hone your skills, it's crucial to prioritize ethical considerations. Hypnotic language should always be used with respect for the other person's autonomy and well-being. Avoid using these techniques for manipulation or coercion. Instead, focus on creating win-win situations where both parties benefit from the interaction. Here are some common mistakes to avoid when using hypnotic language. Overuse, using hypnotic language too frequently, can make you sound insincere or manipulative. Inconsistency, your words and body language should align to convey authenticity and congruence. Lack of calibration, failing to adjust your language and approach based on the individual's responses can lead to resistance and disengagement. By practicing consistently, seeking feedback, and adhering to ethical principles, you can harness the power of hypnotic language to transform your communication and create more positive and influential interactions.